Now, there's a term economists use when they want to describe a tragedy without using the word tragedy. They call it the doom loop. It sounds like something out of a comic book, doesn't it? But for the people of San Francisco, it is a cold, mathematical reality that is swallowing their streets whole. You see, a city is a delicate organism. It breathes through its tax base. And San Francisco, well, it made a dangerous bet. It decided to rely on a handful of tech titans to provide nearly half of its business tax revenue. It was a golden goose that never stopped laying eggs, until one day, the goose decided to fly away. It starts quietly. A company like Oracle or Tesla decides they've had enough. They pack up and head for Austin. At first, the city officials shrug. They think, we're San Francisco, someone else will take their place. But no one does. The office stays empty. The tax revenue from that building? Gone. The thousands of employees who used to buy lunch at the deli around the corner? Gone. Or grab a drink at the bar across the street? Gone. Suddenly, that deli can't pay its rent. The bar closes its doors. The sidewalks, once bustling with the energy of the world's brightest minds, become silent. And in that silence, trouble finds a home. When the city's coffers start to run dry, the first thing to suffer are the services. The streets don't get cleaned as often. The police, already stretched thin, find their budgets scrutinized. Public safety begins to feel optional. And as the streets get grittier, the few businesses that stayed behind start to look at the exit. It's a chain reaction, a spiral. Once the loop starts spinning, it gains its own momentum, and stopping it is like trying to catch a falling knife. I've walked past the storefronts on Union Square. These weren't just shops, they were monuments to American retail. Nordstrom, Macy's, Whole Foods. When you see a flagship store board up its windows with plywood, you're not just looking at a business closing, you're looking at a white flag, a surrender. They didn't leave because people stopped wanting to buy clothes or groceries. They left because the cost of staying became too high. And I'm not talking about the rent, I'm talking about the chaos tax. When your staff is being harassed, when your inventory is walking out the front door, you realize you're no longer running a business, you're running a charity in a war zone. And here is the cruelest part of the loop. As more businesses leave, the burden falls on those who remain. The city, desperate to plug the billion-dollar hole in its budget, looks around for someone to tax. But the only people left are the ones who couldn't afford to leave, or the ones who are too stubborn to quit. So they raise the taxes on them, which, of course, only makes them want to leave even faster. I see the city officials on the news talking about resilience and pivoting. They use big words to hide a simple truth. The bank account is empty. The $14 billion budget, that mountain of gold we talked about, it's being eaten away. Every time a tech worker logs on from a house in Florida, a light goes out in a San Francisco skyscraper. And every time a light goes out, the loop spins a little faster. It's a death by 1,000 cuts, a slow-motion collapse of a dream that thought it was too big to fail. But as the money leaves, something else rushes in to fill the vacuum. Something much darker than empty offices and silent streets. Because when a city loses its soul, the ghosts that haunt it are never far behind. When an economy collapses, the shadows move in. Watch the next chapter, Lawlessness, a city losing its grip on the light.